Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Shuklam Baradaram Vishnum Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasannabadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Sarvalokanam Vishaje Bhavarogina Hitaye Sarva Vidyanam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Shruti Smriti Puranana Malayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Apara Karuna Sindhum Jnanadam Shantarupinam Shri Chandrasekhara Guru Pranami Mudanvaham Parityajya Maunam Vatadastitim Jamrajan Bharatasya Pradeshat Pradesham Madhusyanti Vacha Janan Dharma Margena Yen Shri Jayem Guru Guruvati Chitte Namama Shankaran Vakya Vijayendra Saraswati Shri Gurum Sishtamar Ganuneta Anmati Pradam Sadguru Charanaravinda Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Viveka Chudamani. In the last class, we saw an analogy how one truth differs from one beholder to another beholder. Same truth, depending upon from where you are seeing it, will differ. Killing is bad. Ahimsa paramo dharma. There is Shastra Vakyam. But you cannot apply that to an army person who is fighting in the border. For him, there is some more dharma, Vishesha dharma. You should not hurt others. Ahimsa paramo dharma. But we cannot go and tell that to a doctor who is going to put an injection to you or who is going to make a surgery, make an incision in your body. Because for him, there is some more dharma. So depending upon the beholder, the reality itself changes. We saw in quantum mechanics, it is completely subjective. Newtonian mechanics does not care about whether a person is there to witness that event or not. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Newtonian mechanics does not care if a person is looking at the ball, if the person is not looking at the ball is going to bounce. But quantum mechanics is not like that. The moment you go smaller and smaller and smaller in atoms, depending upon whether an action is perceived or not, the molecules will behave differently. There are so many examples. It's not a quantum mechanics class, so I'm not going to go into much details about interference and things like that. But the famous example I will tell is the Schrodinger's cat. In the famous thought experiment of Schrodinger, the cat is both alive and dead. The cat is in a superimposed, the superposition, or not superimposed. Superimposed comes in Vedanta. Superposition comes in quantum. So the cat is in a superpositioned state of both living and dead, unless there is a beholder. Unless there is an observer who opens the box and sees the cat is going to live and it is going to be dead simultaneously. Quantum mechanics. People say Vedanta does not make any sense. People say they cannot understand Vedanta. Let them come to quantum mechanics. It's going to be even more mystical. That is why many of the physicists, they all had a very deep understanding, deep affinity towards Advaita Vedanta. Okay, that keeping aside. So in the last class, we saw an example where you are going to sell a piece of gold to a shop. I have some old gold, pure gold, but it is old, broken bangle. We will have that type of things in our house, right? Some broken bangle will be there. Some small modaram, which, they gave it to us when we were kids. The modaram will not enter into our finger itself. So we all want to sell all those things, and then we want to get new gold. You have taken all these things, and then you are going to the gold shop. There are three entities that are involved in the transaction. One is you, another is the gold shop person, the person who is going to buy the gold from the gold shop. And the third entity is the gold itself. The third entity is the gold itself. As a customer, I will have lots of memories on each and every piece of the gold. Okay, this modaram was given to me by my one vitta, rendu vitta, moonu vitta mama. Okay, he was very nice only to me. But for all people, he will bark. But only for me, he will pat in my back with so much love and affection. This chain, I got it for my marriage from my husband or from my wife. This is the first kankanam that I got from my significant other. All these things, each and every jewel will come with lots and lots of memories. Each and every jewel will come with lots and lots of memories. And there are lots and lots of sentiments as well. That is our point of view. We just don't see them as a piece of gold, but we see them with lots of memories. For the shop person, he sees everything as gold. For him, it does not matter whether you got a ring during your marriage or during your birthday. As long as it is 5 gram, he will give you money worth of 5 gram of gold. He sees everything as an objective name. He sees everything as gold. But we don't see everything as gold. We see everything with the names and forms, with the memories, with all of these things, superimposition. Right. That is our point of view. The gold shopkeeper's point of view is everything is gold. He's going to buy the gold. He's going to break the gold. We will cry. When I got, when the chain that I got from my significant other broke, I will cry. I will not eat for days together. But for the gold person, for the shopkeeper, he is going to break everything. He is going to melt everything, and then he is going to make some other gold. Right. So for him, everything is gold only. Now, the third point of view is much more important. The third point of view is the point of view of gold. The third point of view is the point of view of gold. From the point of view of gold, nothing happens to me. I am not diluted. I don't lose my identity as gold. Right? People superimpose some name onto me. People superimpose some form onto me. People superimpose some structure onto me. People superimpose some function onto me. But as gold, I am nirantaraha. I always exist. Bangles will have a date of birth. Bangles will have a date of death. Ring will have a date of birth. Ring will cease to exist at one point of time. But there is no date of birth for gold. And there is no date of death for gold as well. From the point of view of gold, I am nirantaraha. Right? And I don't have to depend upon anything for my existence. Bangle depends upon gold for its existence. Modaram depends upon gold for its existence. Kankanam depends upon gold for its existence. But gold does not have to be dependent upon anything for its existence. Anashrayaha. Gold is anashrayaha. Ashraya means dependent. Anashrayaha is independent. Gold is satyaha. Gold is always going to be existent. Sadvastu. Adhisthanaha. It is the substratum onto which all the ornaments are built upon. Gold is the adhisthana, the substratum onto which all the ornaments are built upon. We are in the auspicious Matangi Navaratri. There is a beautiful Nama in Lalita Sahasranama that goes like Nithya Jagat Adhisthana. Beautiful Nama. If you go very deep into technicalities, I don't want you to go very deep into technicalities, but if you go, the description of this Nama will create a lots of problem between a Shakta Upasaka and an Advaita Vedanta. Shakta Upasaka as the philosophy, the Shakta Upasaka, there is a philosophy. We have Trika, there is a Kashmiri Saivism, Trika philosophy, Shakta philosophy, and all right. So in the Shakta philosophy, they don't accept this world as Mithya. Shakta is very, 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 very close to Advaita. Mahaprabhu says that in the Devatam. That is why in the Srimatam, the puja for Chandramaulishwara is by Vaidhika Marga, but the puja for Tripura Sundari is by Sri Vidya Marga. Right. But this is one of the major disagreement between Shakta and Advaita. What is the nature of this world? Shakta subscribes to a Vadam called as Parinama Vadam. So there are two Vadams. One is Parinama Vadam and another is Vivarta Vadam. The relationship between Jagat and Ishvara. What is the relationship between Jagat and Ishvara? There are two ways to explain. Parinama Vadaha and Vivarta Vadaha. Both accept Advaita, non-dual. Parinama Vadaha says Brahman becomes the universe. Brahman becomes the universe. Just like how yogurt, curd, is made from the milk. Milk becomes yogurt. Right? There is an actual physical change involved in making yogurt from milk. In the same way, Ambal becomes the universe, says Parinamavada. Parinamam means what? Evolution. And then there is Vivartavada, which is prescribed by Shankaracharya. So Parinamavada is normally prescribed by Tantras and Agama. You go to Tantra, Sri Vidya Tantra is there, and then Chaturshashya Tantra, 64 Tantras are there. And then we have Agamas, we have Shaiva Agamas are there. Even to an extent, Vaikanas Agama also accept this. Brahman becomes universe, Parinamavada. And then we have Vivartavada, which is supported by the Vedas, which is proposed by Adi Shankaracharya. Is hey, Brahman cannot become the universe. Because if Brahman becomes the universe, then there is a change in Brahman. Milk becomes yogurt. We say milk becomes yogurt. So when in the patram only yogurt remains, milk will be absent. Even though yogurt is born from milk, yogurt is born from milk, milk will be absent when there is yogurt present. Milk undergoes a physical change. That cannot happen with Brahman. Because by definition, Brahman is Sadvastu, he cannot undergo any change. I say he, but it should be it. Brahman, it cannot undergo any change. Says Vivartavada. So when we explain this Mithya Jagat Adhisthana Nama, it clearly says Jagat is Mithya. Mithya means what? It does not have an independent existence. Who is the Adhisthana for this Mithya Jagat? Ambad. Just like how the names and forms of golds are Mithya. There is no separate substance called as bangle apart from gold. If I take 10 grams of gold, make a bangle. When I call it as a bangle, it will not have gained 1 gram of this bangle. All you have is just gold. It's just name and form. Right. So there is no separate entity called as bangle. There is only gold. That dependent existence, we call it as Mithya. That dependent. So bangle is Mithya. Gold is Sadvastu. Bangle is Mithya. Gold is Sadvastu. In the same way, this universe is Mithya. Brahman is Sadvastu. Because what? Because why? Because Brahman is everything. Whatever we see, it is nothing but a name and form of Brahman. There is nothing, an iota of material called as universe apart from Brahman. Purusha Yeve Dagum Sarvam Yad Bhutam Yadcha Bhavyam Bhutamritatvasya Yadannena Tirohati. Right. So these are the 3 points of views. Who are the 3 people? One is me. Another is the gold person who sees everything as gold. Another is the gold itself for who there is no change happens. Right. We can equate these 3 people, these 3 entities to 3 kinds of people. One is Ajnani, again me. Right. I don't see gold for the sake of gold. I see gold as ornaments. I see gold as ornaments. I have too much dependence on the names and forms. I have so much emphasis on the names and forms of gold. Right. So it is an Ajnani. The second person is the gold shop person. He sees everything as gold. He sees everything as gold. So he is trying to be Jnani. He is trying to be Jnani. He is a Jignasa. Or you can even tell he is Jnani. Jnani sees everything as Brahman. Right. Third is gold itself, right? That is Atma. Paramarthika Satya. Paramarthika Satyaya. Nothing else exists other than me. Paramarthika Satya. Nothing exists other than me. Right. So these are the 3 types of people. So in Viveka Chudamani, Acharya is now telling about the Lakshanam of Jivan Mukta. Lakshanam of Jivan Mukta. So just like how we saw, right? Each person will have different points of views for the same Satyam. Each people will have different points of view. In the same way, what is the Jivan Mukta's point of view of the universe? He says, Yasya sthita bhavet prajna, Yasyanando nirantaraha, Prapancho vismrita prayaha, Saha Jivan Mukta ishyate, Saha Jivan Muktaha ishyate. He is considered to be a Jivan Mukta, who Yasya sthita bhavet prajna. that person, Sthita Prajna, for that person, for who the Prajna is Sthita. You know, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about Sthita Prajna Lakshanam. Right? Labhalabhau cha yachayau, Sthita Prajnastadochyate, Sthita Dhihi, Muniruchyate. Everything he says in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, third chapter, Sthita Prajnasya Lakshanam. The person who sees good and bad as the same. Tulya Nindastatir Maunihi. The person who sees Ninda and Stuti as equal. The person who sees victory and defeat as equal. Why? Because he has gone past all these things. Because he has gone past all these things. He has realized that everything is Brahman. Only if there is another entity, there can be a chance for some friction. When you want to have friction, you need to have two stones. All that exists is one stone. How can there be friction? In the same way, in our manas, in our mind, if there has to be a friction, there has to be two entities. I like him, that is a friction. I hate him, there is a friction. I want that thing to come to me, friction. It is a good friction, but it's still a friction. I want that thing to go away from me, there is a friction. But if there is only me, how can any other entity come to me? How can any other entity go from me? So, yasya sthita bhavet prajna. Yasya anandaha nirantaraha. For that person, he experiences nirantara ananda. Why? Because he understands that he is the embodiment of all the ananda. Because he understands that he is the embodiment of all the ananda. We gain ananda, we derive ananda from eating gulab jamun. I'll come back to my favorite example. We derive ananda when we eat gulab jamun. We experience ananda when you are in the midst of your loved ones. You experience ananda when you get iPhone. Right? How does that ananda happen? That ananda is not an intrinsic property of gulab jamun or the iPhone or the loved ones. The ananda is your intrinsic property. What you see in the gulab jamun, in your relative, in your iPhone, it is just a reflection of your ananda. I love gulab jamun. One day for Deepavali, they gave me gulab jamun. I ate it very, 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 very happily. Second day also, they gave gulab jamun. I ate it. But if they start feeding me gulab jamun for 30 days in a month in a row, I will start hating the gulab jamun. The same gulab jamun, which was the source of ananda for me, now it is the source of dukkham for me. Why? The gulab jamun does not change. The person has made the gulab jamun the same way. But why do I now hate the gulab jamun? Because the gulab jamun has ceased to reflect my ananda. So ananda is not the object property. That is the mistake that we all do. We consider ananda to be the property of object. When I see him, I become very, very happy. When I see him, I become very, very angry. We associate the happiness, we associate sadness with the other person. On the other hand, happiness or sadness does not belong to the other person, it belongs to you. You are the embodiment of happiness. What the other person does, he only has a mirror. He only has a mirror to reflect your happiness. As long as the gulab jamun reflects my happiness, I, within double quote, experience that happiness and I become happy. As long as that mirror stops, the mirror will be broken if I eat gulab jamun for 30 days. I don't experience happiness. The absence of happiness I experience as sadness or anger, etc. So this person, Atma, I am the embodiment of happiness. I am the Ananda. I am Ananda Swarupam. Anando Brahme Divyajanad. Anandadyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Anande na jata nijivanti. Anandam prayanti visambishanti. Saisha bhargavi varuni vidya. Paramevyo pratisthitaha. I understand myself as the embodiment of happiness. I don't experience Atmananda. Why? I am Atmananda. Sugar will not experience sweetness. Sugar is the embodiment of sweetness. Only others who eat the sugar will experience the sweetness. In the same way, I understand that I am the embodiment of happiness. I lend my ananda to others, just like how sugar lends ananda to gulab jamun. I lend my ananda to others. So there is no problem for me. There is no dearth of ananda for me. There is no dearth of ananda. For gulab jamun will be sweet only when you add sugar. If you remove sugar from gulab jamun will cease to be sweet. Right? On the other hand, can you remove sweetness from sugar? You cannot remove sweetness from sugar. You can remove sweetness from gulab jamun by removing the sugar. But you cannot remove sweetness from the sugar because sugar is the embodiment of sweetness. In the same way, I can remove ananda from all the entities. Familiarity breeds contempt. Paraga paraga palum pulikkum. Right? Those entities who give me ananda, the same entities will be the source of dukkha for me. It is like removing sugar from the gulab jamun. When you remove sugar from the gulab jamun ceases to be sweet. On the other hand, I cannot remove sweetness from sugar. In the same way, I cannot remove ananda from me. Why? Because I am the source of ananda. I am the source of ananda. Yasyanando nirantaraha. Prapancho vismrita prayaha. Okay, so here, Acharya says, Prapanchaha vismrita prayaha. He forgets the world. It is the world is as good as non-existent for him. Does not mean that he will not experience the world. This person, Jivan Mukta, does not mean that, okay, one fine day I get a jnanam and then I disappear from this world. That will never happen. But he sees the world from an objective point of view, not from the subjective point of view. He sees the world as if he is seeing a movie. You know, there are two types of movie goers. One person will go crying. When hero is crying, this person will cry. When heroine is crying, this person will cry. That is one type of movie goer. Another type of movie goer, he will see movie just as an entertainment. Right. So this Jivan Mukta, for him, this entire prapancha is like that movie. Entire prapancha is like that movie. It is Leela of Bhagavan. He will not be disturbed by the empirical world. When I am not disturbed by the empirical world, it is as good as non-existent. When I am not disturbed by the empirical world, it is as good as non-existence. I will completely forget the empirical world. Right? 60 வயசுக்கு மேல ஆயிட்டு முட்டி வலி வந்துருச்சு. Only when my knee is paining, I will remember that, okay, I have a body part called as knee. For a 20-year-old healthy person, knee exists. He also has got a pair of knees. But he does not remember about his knees. He will not say, okay, if I stand for this many times, I'm going to have knee pain. If I walk this fast, I will have knee pain. If I climb up or down the stairs very fast, I will get knee pain. He will not worry about all these things because knee is not a source of problem for him. We will remember things only if they cause us problems. We will remember things only if they cause us problems. If that thing is not the cause of a problem, we will not remember that thing. For us, it is as though it is non-existent. The same way, this universe will not be a cause of problem for this Jivan Mukta. This universe will not be a cause of problem for this Jivan Mukta. So that is why Acharya says, Prapancho Vismrita Prayaha. Saha, that person, Jivan Mukta Ishyate, he is called as Jivan Mukta. Like that, Acharya is going to say the Jivan Mukta Lakshanam in Viveka Chudamani. This is kind of like Phalashruti. Okay, when you take to the path of Vedanta, normally in many shlokas, most of the shlokas, the final shloka will be Phalashruti. When you chant the shloka, this is what you are going to get. Yaf patet Shiva Sannidau Shivena Sahamodate. Vinvattakam idam punyam yaf patet Shiva Sannidau. He says Shivena Sahamodate. He is going to go and be with Parameshwara. Brahma Sayuchan Gachati. Kaivalya Padamashtute, Kaivalya Padamashtute. Tapasvi Punyo Bhavati, Tapasvi Punyo Bhavati. All these things are Phalashruti. The Phalan for the Upasana. So what is the Phalan for Jnanam? Because as I said before, we are nearing the end of Viveka Chudamani. Acharya gives the Phalan for Jnanam. When you get Jnanam, Jnanam, get everything under double quotes. You are the embodiment of Jnana, but when you know that you are Jnana Swarupa, these are the phalam that you are going to get. These are the phalam that you are going to get. You are going to experience. You are going to understand that you are the source of Ananda. You will not beg, borrow, steal Ananda from others. You will not beg, borrow, steal Ananda from others. You are not going to be disturbed by this empirical world. That you are going to list lots of phalam, more of which we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Shri